Making connection between a game and the real life is always exciting, like when you find out San Andreas characters are inspired from hip-hop artists, or how Blasphemous has recreated famous pieces of art. So a few days ago I was wandering around in Farloom when it hit me. What if each area in this game were meant to represent a real country? Like how Hallownest as a whole is basically Australia if it was any good. It began with Belhart when I found the resemblance uncanny. It looked exactly like... Wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is Old Soul and I appreciate any form of support, even as small as hitting the like button and subscribe. No, seriously, I really appreciate it. Even the big ones. Thank you. Keep in mind that these connections are all my sentiment and simply a joke. I'm not claiming any of these to be what the devs actually meant with their choices. The first location to catch our attention is Wisp Thicket. I mean, if this is not literally Vietnam, then I don't know what it is. A dark forest with heavy atmosphere, the trees are talking, the mad soldiers who will stay hostile even after their leaders fall. A 5-minute walk here and the PTSD is guaranteed. Next we got Memoriam, a location that has a piece of every other location in it. Is that New England? Seriously, what's more British than stealing a whole bunch of bugs from other areas and then claiming it was so we can preserve it better? I mean geez, the only thing this place is missing is one of those giant bells, and that's only because it was too big to move around, just like the pyramids were for England. The next area is Wormways, a sandy location with a valuable undiscovered resource that a man taps into and now you can see it everywhere. It's Saudi Arabia, everyone. The worms are Dune's Shai Hulud and Plasmium is oil, once untapped and abandoned, now their main infrastructure. Even Hornet wearing hijab wouldn't make it more Arabic than this. Then we have Deep Ducks, which is obviously Soviet Union. Think about it. Literally every single bug is working their asses off 24/7 and their work is mostly similar. Like no one's having it easy here, they might as well call each other comrades. It could have been a gulag too if it wasn't so hot down here. Fun fact, did you know the Soviets dug the deepest hole in the world? 1/10 of the Earth's crust. Coincidence? Blasted steps. Tell me this isn't Iraq. Tell me this isn't the sandstorm the US military was faced against. A harsh environment with a lot of winds and sands where every step you take something might explode or fall on your head. Iraq is Blasted Steps on easy mode. And I'm saying this in the most unracist way possible. The last judge exploded himself. Let that sink in. Next in line is Hunter's March, once a powerful force who could threaten the entire kingdom. Not as glorious nowadays, but still very lawful and abiding to the rules. It's Germany. See how they always cooperate with each other? How everything is in sync and has great order? They hide and buried any sign of their old leader behind the walls and in the attic. Sands of Carrick. Quite similar to the previous one. A nation of once great warriors, now forgotten in a corner of the world with dust sitting on them. That's Mongolia. And this time it's not just my opinion. Team Cherry has made it pretty obvious. With their leader being named Khan, the warrior spirit the bugs have, a lost kingdom where power rests. Bilewater. My lawyer forbade me to explain any further, but it's India. Sinner's Road. I mean come on, it's on the west side of Bilewater and they almost look the same. What other choice do I have? Reaching the great shining city, the Citadel. In my opinion, the philosophy behind Citadel and Silksong as a whole is a criticism of the United States. Every other bug down here lives with the hope and the illusion of reaching the paradise up in the skies. They spend their whole life trying to reach it, and when they do, what do they see? Vacuity, soulless shining halls, magnificent architecture of meaninglessness, empty promises built on the backbone of the underworld's poor workers, the binds still holding them slaves. It's the American dream, folks. And you get to shoot children too. Verdania, a prosperous Greenland full of joy and love where everyone is gay, until a religious homophobe figure enters to trigger a dark, bleak era. What is this, a Lebanon simulator? Just walking there in the aftermath. Tell me this place isn't bombed. It's one hummus stand away from perfection. Now the first area, Masgrato. A place although beautiful and charming, everyone wants to leave there immediately and go up to the north. It's their dream to reach the US, the Citadel. And the people of Citadel are not happy about this. They built a giant wall, a giant door to keep the Masgratoians out, with some of them saying they want to make Citadel great again. Yep, you guessed it, it's Mexico. The Slab, a place where everyone's held hostage. The main door is locked and behind that are many more locked doors. And if you enter there without meeting our smuggler friend first, you get stuck there forever. Welcome to North Korea. Next we got Shellwood, Now I'm not very pleased about choosing Shellwood as another Australia, but if you think about it, it makes sense. Everything here might be a bug, a small flower, a little rotten twig. Even some bugs are inside other bugs. Honestly, Australia could never. Reaching the beautiful main hub, Belhart. Might sound biased, but Belhart reminds me of my own country, Iran. Not visually, but lore-wise. Once a great and prosperous biome, now under the spell of a cleric. What makes Belhart stand out in Farloom isn't what it has to offer. It's about how it acts as a bridge, connecting the two sides of the map. Just like Iran was with the Silk Road. But now, no one dares enter this haunted land and prefers to divert their passage. Whispering Vaults. Where's the safest place that holds your money and valuable assets? A bank. What country comes to your mind when you hear the word bank? Yes, Switzerland. This place looks inside one of those old Swiss banks we only see in movies because we are too poor to go there ourselves. Mount Fay. This is how summer feels in Canada. You need to rush from one source of warmth to the other, or just simply die in the street. Next in line is Cogwork Core. What says Japan more than steampunk? Specifically some of Miyazaki's works like Howl's Moving Castle and Castle in the Sky. But it's not just about gears and motors and all. The fact that no sentient bug is here and everything has been automated reminds me of Japan too. I mean, if the Japanese people were to move all together to somewhere else for 5 years, that country would still keep running perfectly. As for the marrow, it's Egypt. The ancient vibes, the treasures, how it connects everything to everything else. Plus, you get to awaken the Sphinx in there. And all these bones kinda reminds me of those mummified pharaohs. The Cradle. The smallest biome which is not actually a sovereign biome but hosts the most powerful religious figure in the world? Of course it's Vatican. So basically in the bad ending of Act 2, Hornet replaces the old Pope as the new elected Supreme Pontiff, while the real ending shows the downfall of Christianity. Greymoor. This one gives Romania, but only because it looks like the pop culture version of Transylvania. So if that is Transylvania, this must be Hotel Transylvania. Makes sense with all the weirdos lurking in. Let's see, what else? Underworks. A capitalist dystopia where everyone works forever but achieves nothing. They keep dusting the place and it keeps getting dustier. They work harder than everyone else but never have any money. The cruel industrial machine crushes their bones but they're not allowed to complain. That's the Earth. Most countries are like this nowadays, and if you don't relate to this, be really thankful for it. But just for the sake of not ruining our map, we have to put something here. Next is Farfields. Don't really have anything on this one, except the fact that it has a lot of winds, so it should probably be Denmark. But that's because I couldn't come up with a better one. Same goes for the 3 remaining locations left empty on the map. So if you have any suggestions for them, tell me in the comments and the connection you see between them. If you enjoyed, hit the like button and subscribe, and don't you dare go hollow.